Hey there, Shannon from Shine Bright Coaching. I'm here to talk today about some tips on how to get out of your own way when working towards one of those big goals. All right, so this is a funny little story, but I live close to the beach and I like to not run. I am not a runner, but I like to kind of jog down to the water and walk down there. But where I live, the bike path to the actual, water is quite far. I'm not super good with measurements, but it feels like a few football fields. So I've been noticing as I jog from the back bike path to the water, a few little tips that have been reminding me of what I see when clients are working towards a big goal. So let me walk you through this. So it feels like forever and it's hot out and I'm trying to jog through the sand. And if I'm constantly looking at the water as I'm trying to run to it, I find that it feels like I'm never getting there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. I'm getting tired. I want to give up, and not a great strategy. Vice versa, if I switch it around and I'm just looking at my feet, oftentimes I can look up and I'm like off track. I'm veering to the left or I'm veering to the right. And I'm like, oh shoot, I missed my point of contact, like where I was trying to get. And so it's been making me think of how much this reminds me of goals. And what I've been realizing is that if I can actually be focusing on the steps that I'm taking in front of me, but every so often kind of glance up and make sure that I'm heading in the right direction, the time actually feels like it goes pretty fast. I'm like, oh wow, I just got there really quickly and I got to exactly where I wanted to go and it didn't feel that hard. And so it's this combination of like focusing on the steps in front of me, but glancing up every now and then to make sure I'm heading where I want to go. And so I've been thinking about how much that reminds me of what I see happening with clients when they are also trying to work towards big goals. Both of those things happen, right? The first situation that I see over and over with my clients, they have a big goal, whether that's they want to start a business or they want to make a career shift or they're trying to actually advance in their career and trying to grow and develop towards that. And they have this vision of where they want to see themselves going, and they're really excited about it. These are the people that can see that vision so clearly, right? They can feel it, they can taste it, they can imagine what it would be like and all the things that will come into place once that is in their reality. And they spend so much time imagining and looking at that place and not enough time focusing on what is the one or two things I can do today in this moment that actually starts to move me towards that vision, right? And I think this is where a lot of people get tripped up. It's like the vision feels so big and so amazing and so maybe unreachable, and where they come back to their day to day and they're like, oh gosh, I'm so far from where I want to be and I'm never going to get there. And they're missing the connection between focusing on daily intentional action, small steps, consistently taking small steps forward that illuminate the next step that can come after that. And then every now and then glancing up, right? Coming back to that vision and making sure, are my steps aligned? Am I going in the right direction? Right? So that's one way. The other way I see this happening is that people have a sense of the vision and where they want to go, but they get so bogged down in the day-to-day and the what we can call the weeds, and they're not glancing up every now and then to be like, is this taking me in the right direction? Is this where I want to go? Right? And they're just maybe getting bogged down with making things more complicated or feeling like things have to get perfectly done before they can start or before they can get going, or trying to perfect something so much that they're actually not making any sort of progress or forward motion, and forgetting to kind of glance up and be like, what am I working towards? Why does all this matter? Where am I going? Where is this heading? right? And so either of those things, whether that's being so connected to that vision, and because you're so connected, you're not actually paying attention to what you're doing in the present and the daily actions and steps that you can take that are going to actually move you in that direction. Or they're so bogged down by the day-to-day, in the weeds with their daily actions, and they're not actually coming back to the why, to the vision, to where this is all leading, which is where the juice is, right? It's where we feel inspired. It's where that imagination of ours can really help us to turn our visions into a reality. And if we're just getting bogged down with the day-to-day and forgetting why we're doing it, or forgetting where we want to go, or even just checking in, I think oftentimes too, we can have an initial vision of what we want to accomplish or where we want to go, and then we get really stuck in that vision and forgetting to kind of check in with ourselves as we progress down that path to kind of be like, is this still aligned with what I want and what matters to me and where I want to go? I think one of the things that Micah and I, in our journey of building Shine Bright to a successful, company, is we had a clear vision, and the vision was helping people to identify their strengths as a way of supporting them to make more informed and intentional decisions about their future and their career and their life in general. But along the way, right, over the 10 years that we've been building this business, there's been doors that have opened and doors that have closed. Who we've been delivering that work to, the audience, where has shifted and changed, and we've had to be paying attention to, are our actions still aligned with this vision? And we've had to pivot and adjust, follow where the energy is leading. If doors are closing, how do we kind of adjust to where the doors are opening, right? And continuing to focus on what can we do next? What's the next step? And is that aligned with what matters to us and where we want to go and what we want to build? And does that vision need to be updated along the way? I've been thinking about this over the last few months as I'm on my walk jog, not a run. I don't want to pretend to be a runner here. And that long distance from the bike path to the water, and how if I can practice focusing on my steps and what's in front of me and glancing up every now and then, make sure I'm heading in the right direction, that seems like such a great metaphor for how we can approach the goals that we have for our lives. I hope this is helpful. Maybe you can give it a shot and let us know, leave some comments below. But how can you make sure that you are taking daily action, taking steps that are consistent with what you want, and glancing up every now and then to make sure you're heading in the right direction? All right, we'll talk soon. Take care.